morning. You're watching Market Fatafat right here on ET Now. I'm Mubina Kapasi, and this is a show where we get you a wrap of all the movers and shakers in trade. For now, the markets continue their declining trend. In fact, it's the 7th or the 8th straight session that we are seeing red on the screen. We are sub the 10,700 mark. The broader markets as well are declining, not to the extent that the benchmarks are, but nevertheless in the red, and all the indices at this point of time are at the day's low. Okay, but moving away a bit from the market chatter, there are changes in the FTSE. The FTSE Russell has actually increased India's weight, and several stocks that have made an entry into the index. Let's go across to my colleague Vivek Iyer to tell us about the rejig in the index. Vivek?
Well, that's right, Mubina. In fact, it's a quarterly review that the FTSE Russell Index undergoes, and what's actually quite heartening as far as India is concerned is that even though we are hearing that the MSCI may actually go ahead and reduce India's weightage, on the other hand, FTSE has gone ahead and actually increased the weightage, almost 80 basis point increase as far as India is concerned. Now, remember, India's weightage in this particular emerging market index goes up to 10.99%, and the individual stocks that one needs to watch out for in terms of additions as well as flows that will start coming in due to the passive ETFs that actually track this particular index. So Federal Bank is the one stock that is expected to see the most amount of buying flows, given the fact that almost over 3 crore shares is something that could be impacted as far as Federal is concerned. The other stocks to keep on your radar are 3M India, Alchem Labs as well as Gillette India. These are the ones too that have been added to the emerging market index.
Okay, Vivek, thanks a lot for that quick wrap of all the big move, the rejigs in the FTSE index. But let's get started the show then. And first up, bring on board our experts who are going to be joining us, as well as our research analysts. We have with us Soumya Sharma and Siddharth Bhamre. And also joining them is Kunal Bosra as well as Sameet Chavan from Angel Broking. So thanks to all of you for joining in. And let's start off by flagging off the very first stock on our radar, and that is Vedanta. Not such good news coming in, because the Supreme Court now has refused to allow the company to restart the very contentious Tuticorin plant for now. The Supreme Court has said that they can approach the High Court for the copper plant restart, and the Supreme Court has also quashed a tribunal order allowing Vedanta's plant to restart. So that's important. Remember, the state has gone to the Supreme Court after the tribunal allowed Vedanta to restart their copper smelter. Additionally, they have also said that you can go back to the High Court, and they may also seek urgent hearing in the copper plant case in the High Court. For now, the stock price still holding on 0.9% higher, but it's just a spanner in the works really, while Vedanta continues to hustle when it comes to restarting a very important smelter that has 400,000 tons of copper smelting capacity. 0.9% higher for Vedanta. Kunal, let's talk about Kaveri Seeds. There's been massive correction in the stock price. The numbers as well fail to do anything to, uplift the spirit over here, continues to decline. What's your view?
Yeah, the stock is down 20%, 20-21% approximately for the month so far. But more interestingly, I think look at the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks, the stock has corrected from 620, 630 levels, which was apparently a very strong breakout level on the upside, and it just completely U-turned and reversed its course. And now it's on the verge of breaking its key support levels, which I think is around those 440, 442 levels on spot basis. So looking at the weakness in the last 3 weeks and the sudden reversal of stock price, I believe that the stock could correct further. 440 approximately could be a near-term target on Kaveri Seeds, and would maintain the short view which I had discussed I think a couple of weeks back.
Okay, so that's Kaveri Seeds for you. Yes, Kunal has flagged off that it's corrected more than 20% in the last 4 weeks, and it could, in fact, from these levels of 476, correct further till 440 to 430 rupees. Remember, the Q3 earnings as well, not a very pleasant point to look at for Kaveri Seeds, continue to put pressure on the stock price as well. The other pack, however, that's managing to buck the general trend witnessed in the markets is the ADAG pack. In fact, just in the previous show, we had my colleague Utkarsh Chaturvedi giving us an update on what exactly is going on with the pack. There is that lenders pact with the ADAG group that sources are suggesting to him. The stock prices of all these counters are showing a nice uptick. Rel Power, Sameet, is one such stock. Double-digit gains witnessed today. Sameet, Reliance Power. that phone line has got disconnected. But yeah, as a reminder for all our viewers, my colleague Utkarsh Chaturvedi picks up from his sources that an in-principle pact with over 90% of the lenders has been entered into. 90% of the lenders are not going to enforce security, and there's no sale of promoters pledged shares till the 30th of September. For Reliance Power in particular, investment bankers have appointed for share placement, power placement of 30% of direct shareholding is what we are looking at. Okay, Soumya, meantime, another day and another news maker for Yes Bank. This time around, however, the news does not look to be that positive.
That's right, Mubina. Well, the Reserve Bank of India has warned the bank of regulatory action for disclosure of the nil divergence report. Well, it said that the report was marked confidential and no part of it must have been disclosed. And Yes Bank, mentioning about the nil disclosure, whereas there were a lot of lapses and regulatory breaches in the report that came out, and disclosure of just one part of this report might be termed as misleading the public. So, not very happy with Yes Bank. RBI has issued a regulatory warning to the bank.
Well, yes, perhaps not happy with the tom-tomming that Yes Bank did about Friday's session, which caused, by the way, the stock price to surge a neat 30%. Siddharth, let's talk about result candidate Ambuja Cements ahead of the numbers. What are we seeing in terms of cues?
Well, somebody is accumulating positions, Mubina, big time. Now, Ambuja Cement is fairly liquid name in future segment. It's not something which has a low base. And when I say that there is more than 50% addition in open interest, we are talking about huge pile-up of position. And also it is very close to that support level of 200. In fact, it is challenging that support levels. And if you have to give weightage to the price action, then you can say that these are probably short positions. But as you said, it's a result candidate. Anything can happen. But the kind of position which have been built up, Mubina, it seems either there would be a corporate action or probably there is big move in the offing. So please keep close eye on Ambuja Cement.
Okay, so that's Ambuja Cements for you. Massive accumulation witnessed ahead of the Q4 numbers for the counter. Kunal, let's talk about IndusInd Bank. What are you observing here?
So it's a stock, on the private banking side, which is relatively stable. Now, when you look at it in the last, 3 weeks, I think from the start of Feb or somewhere in the end of Jan, when the stock was trading at 1420, 1430 levels, it's now going through a gradual and a steady uptrend. But I think it's also nearing a short-term breakout, which I think is around those 1525, 1530 levels. Also, it's a 50-day moving average resistance for IndusInd Bank. So, looking at the gradual nature of uptrend, the slow and steady stability, and the lack of volatility or the high beta nature, I believe that this stock would continue to ride up higher from current levels as well. For 1575 to 1580 could be a positional target for IndusInd Bank, given a time frame of 1 to 2 weeks.
Okay, so that of course is a recommendation coming in on IndusInd Bank. DHFL, meantime, as per an ET report, private equity firms are vying for a 10% stake in DHFL. The names include Bain Capital, Barring India, Hero FinCorp. These are the guys that are likely to bid for that 10% stake. In fact, we also understand that Chairman Wadhwan is planning to step down from active management post the stake sale. Of course, this is a report-based story, but on the back of that, we're seeing quite an uptick come by, and the stock price 8.6% higher at 133 rupees. Well, on that note, we'll just take a very short break right here on Market Fatafat. Come right back. The countdown will continue. Welcome back. You're watching Market Fatafat right here on ET now. Let's, without any further ado, continue with the countdown. Samit, you're flagging of KPIT Tech. What are you observing in terms of trends, and what would you recommend viewers?
Clearly, last 5 to 6 months have not been so great for this counter. This stock is clearly sinking day by day, and today also we are seeing a massive, plunge in this counter, more than 13% down. It has broken its major support again. 105 was the immediate support level to watch out for. The stock is now trading well below that level and is now heading towards its major support level of 87. So this corrective mode is likely to continue at least towards 87, 85 over the next few days.
All right, that's the view coming in on KPIT Tech. Soumya, of course, Jet Airways, the perennial newsmaker. What's the latest you're picking up?
Well, The aviation company is likely to receive fund infusion worth over 3,000 crore post-debt reject and investments by Etihad Airways as well as National Investment Infrastructure Fund. Well, Etihad, which currently owns 24% stake in the aviation company, is expected to pump in around 1,400 crores, and NIIF is expected to pump in the same amount of money. Talking about lenders led by State Bank of India, they are expected to convert debt into equity worth over 600 crore rupees.
Okay, so that's Jet Airways, higher by about 2.9%. Next up, Siddharth, Apollo Hospitals. Why are you flagging this one off?
Well, Mubina, a few days back there was a huge correction in stock price, and probably after 2 days of consolidation, we all thought that that selling is done. But today that selling has resumed, and if you look on charts, the stock is now challenging, or it made new lows in today's trading session. It has bounced back above its 200 DMA again. But what we are seeing is there is again fresh formation of short positions. So stock is still not out of woods. After 2-3 days of consolidation, selling has resumed.
Okay, Apollo Hospitals has seen, just as you can see on your intraday charts, a rebound from the day's low, nevertheless still lower by 2.2%. Kunal, let's talk about Interglobe Aviation. What are you seeing over here, and what would you advise investors to do?
So the stock is showing some bit of weakness. Mubina, today, even Friday, it saw an intraday weakness but recovered. On Friday's trading session. Nevertheless, today it's confirming a break below its 50-day moving average. In terms of price, supports, it's also breaking a key support, which is around 11.10, 11.15 mark on spot levels, a swing, support. So multiple reasons why I believe that there could be some bit of weakness into the stock price, and it can correct and come back to its 1,080, 1,050 kind of zone, which is also the 200-day moving average support zone. So I think Indigo could see some bit of short-term correction. Maybe a mean reversion process is what one can probably aptly define the stock price.
Alright, so Kunal has a bearish stance on Interglobe Aviation. Next up is Federal Bank. Remember, we did flag off earlier on the show the changes in FTSE, and it's a positive news for the stockholders of Federal Bank, because this is a stock that's going to be included in the semi-annual index review of the FTSE. So we are going to have Federal Bank that's going to be added. In fact, it's expected to see the strongest buying flows as well coming in. Do remember, India's weightage as well has been upped from 0.08% by 0.08%, pardon me, to 10.99%. So Federal Bank today reacting to that news, higher by 1%. Samit, let's talk about Marico. In general today, the FMCG space looks to be a bit weakish. What are you observing in Marico?
See, clearly the entire FMCG space is undergoing some kind of corrective phase since last couple of months, and Marico has clearly corrected within this time from the levels of 380, 390. The stock is now trading at its 4 months low. So looking at the overall price development, the stock has managed to breach its major support level. So this correction is likely to continue. So one should avoid at current level. This correction can extend at least towards 310, 308 over the next few days.
Okay, so 3% lower for Marico today in trade. Soumya, Alembic has received a drug nod. What are the details of the same?
Well, let me tell you, the entire pharma space is in focus. We're talking particularly about Alembic Pharma. Well, it has received US FDA nod for moxifloxacin hydrochloride. Well, this drug is used to treat variety of bacterial infections and has a estimated market size of $68 million US.
Okay, Alembic Limited today is in focus along with the rest of the pharma pack. Okay, Siddharth, let's talk about Tata Elixir meantime. What is it that you're observing here?
This is one of the weakest name in mid-cap IT space, and I'm not talking from just today's perspective. If you look at overall, as IT stocks, be it mid-cap or large-cap, are doing well and are making new highs positionally, Tata Elixir is at a multi-year low. In fact, it's at a 52-week low as we speak, and we are seeing fresh formation of short positions. Volumes are also high in both the segments, which means that worst is not yet over for the counter.